Yo, what you lot saying? It's your boy Jibber Boy here, and today we've got for you some MotoGP 2015 Grand Prix of Argentina review for you guys. And yeah, let's get going. So, Q1 went reasonably well. A lot of riders setting really quick times, particularly Hector Barbaro, who got into Q2 along with Hernandez as well, I believe. So yeah. Both those riders got into Q2, so yeah, and then moving into Q2, we saw a lot of riders setting really quick lap times. I'm really surprised that the Yamahas went up there. They were, I think Rossi was 8, Lorenzo was 6, so yeah, unfortunate. Really, I think really Yamaha really need to improve their qualifying pace, to be honest, if they're going to be challenging for wins and whatnot, so but yeah. And then, surprise, Alice Spargaro in the Suzuki ran really well. Second place on the front row of the grid. It was absolutely fantastic. A really good lap by Alice Spargaro. I don't know how he did it, but he did it, and yeah, and especially as this is their 4th race, if you count Valencia. So yeah. The team looks really revived, really revived. So yeah, and of course on pole position, as always, is Marquez. He took his 2nd pole of the season. So yeah, a good pole position by Marquez. So when we got to the race, it was a good start from Marquez. He got a good start, but so did Alicia Spargaro. So much they got ahead of Marquez and led the race. That's right, a Suzuki, for the first time in 2015, for the first time in a long while, led a MotoGP race. But sadly, not for long, as Marquez got ahead of Alicia Spargaro. Then afterwards, Alicia just faded away as he dropped to 7th. Unlucky, but I guess really the bike wasn't really up to par with the best of the MotoGP guy, the best of the front runners. So yeah, unlucky. So yeah. And then afterwards we saw Cal Crutcher. Cal Crutcher, by the way, made a good start. He managed to get up probably up 3rd. And then afterwards, I think he got ahead of Dovizioso to get 2nd place. So yeah. That bike looks pretty nice, probably the best it's ever looked this year, so yeah, so that's pretty cool, but then sadly he just got overtaken by both Valentino Rossi, Dovizioso, Valentino Rossi and Ineone, so yeah, he dropped down to 5th, so yeah. Lorenzo really wasn't in the thick of it, in the thick of the sharp end, to be honest. He was just right down in 6th place, so yeah, unfortunate for Lorenzo. Hopefully he'll bounce back in Jerez. I mean, this is a really tough time for Lorenzo. He hasn't had a podium this season, you know. For a guy that's won a couple of championships, you would assume that, you know, he'd be scoring a few podiums this year, but he hasn't, but hopefully he will in the next few races, so yeah. And then afterwards, we saw Marc Marquez just driving away, putting a 4-second lead over Valentino Rossi. Also, we thought because Marc Marquez, before the start of the race, they switched their tyres. I think apparently they were going to run their hard tyre, their hard front, no hard rear and hard front, but instead they ran their hard front, soft rear. So a little bit weird, to be honest, as the soft would usually degrade at the end of the race there. So yeah, a little weird there. And yeah, as a result, he paid the price, and yeah, the gap started dropping with about 12 or 11 laps to go between Marquez and Valentino Rossi. It just kept chipping. It was starting off 4, then 4.7, then 4.6, 4.5 and whatnot, 4.4. But while that was going on as well, Hernandez had a little bit of a fire going on, and yeah, had to retire from the race. And from the moment that he knew his race was over, was when the rear let go because of the fire. There was a huge fire on the bottom of the bike, and as a result had to get off the bike real quick, and that was the end of his race there. So yeah, and also another big controversy was Ineone getting ahead of Cal Crutchlow, which was on the yellow flag, which sparked a little bit of a rumours on whether Ineone should let Cal Crutchlow back by, but in the end there was no action taken, so Ineone didn't let him back by. So yeah, and then back to the front. Valentino Rossi was just chipping until he got right up close to him with about a few laps to go, overtook him down the straight, but as soon as they came out of that tight hairpin, Marquez tried to get the lead back, but his front tyre hit the rear of Rossi, and yeah, as a result he fell off his bike, and that was the end of Marquez's race. What do I think about that? I think it was a racing incident, to be honest. I think I'm more going to Marc Marquez's fault, to be honest, because, you know, Marc should have let that one go. You know, he was struggling with his tyres. He knew he was lost. I mean, it was kind of a defeat as soon as Rossi got really close to Marquez there. So yeah, I think really as soon as Rossi came out of that hairpin, I think Marquez should have let that one go, to be honest, and consolidated second. But as a result, he didn't, and he paid the price by falling off his bike there. So yeah, and it was under investigation, but thankfully there was no further action given. So yeah, no penalties and whatnot were given to either rider or both. So yeah. So and then at the end as well, we saw Cal Crutchlow making a move on Ineone in the final corner to grab third place. A brilliant overtake by Cal Crutchlow in the dying moments of the race to grab that last spot in the podium. Good ride by Cal Crutchlow. I think this is the best I've seen him since Aragon last year. He's been totally riding so good. I mean, in the first part he'd been right down in the bottom part of the top 10, but now I think this looks like a revived Cal Crutchlow now. So yeah, happy to see that. Dobby in second, good ride by him. He's only a few points from the lead in the World Championship in MotoGP. Good ride, that's great to see. Shows that he's a really consistent rider this year. So yeah, good ride by him in second there. Totally deserved it. And yeah, top open car spike was Jack Miller. Good ride by him to score a win in the open class there. Rode good, and yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then hit that like button, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Your boy, I'm out. Peace.